mean, that's what I love about what we do as a business is actually the case studies. You know, the number of times somebody will do a valuation online and then come and tell us the backstory. You know, I mean, that kind of like excites me every day. But we've got one of the businesses that we work with is a South African business called Silvery. They KZN-based business, and they produce quality personalized silver jewelry. So they built a wonderful brand. The owner actually bought it from a lady who was running the business as a flea market business. I think when they acquired it a few years ago, they paid 30,000 Rand for the business. The owner, Justin, effectively, over the last 5 years, built this into an online store. They built out the capability. And it was probably about 6 months ago, we were still in the build phase of bizval, but we started working with them. And we sat and we said, like, what's this business worth? And he said, like, it's not worth much. You know, I'm quite frustrated. You know, we've been slogging this thing, but we're not making a profit. You know, we're just like breaking even. But at that stage, I think he was on the cusp of profitability. You know, and this is one of those kind of stories we spoke about Silicon Valley earlier, where they weren't making a profit, but his unit economics were great. Okay, he had kind of hit the sweet spot where people could, you know, really, where the customers want to gift and they want to give personalized stuff. You know, the days of gold jewelry and yellow gold rings and that are long gone. So one, it was affordable, and two, it was a great product, great quality. It was South African homegrown. And he went through the exercise of saying, what's my business worth and what could it be worth? And that's a really important part, is he started to run some scenarios. He said, it's worth this now, but what if I do X, Y, Z, what could it be worth? Okay, and that's an important distinction in valuations, is what is your valuation today? And if I change some things, what could it be? And he then set about this journey to say, flip, actually, his dream was to go and buy a yacht and sail the Mediterranean. So we worked backwards and he said, like, what would I need to do to be able to do that? Okay. And he had his number. Okay. X million number of rands. That's what he wanted to do. And using a valuation as a guide, he then worked backwards. And he said, okay, what do I need to do in my business to do that? He's launched the business in Australia. He's taken to Australia, and he's launched it in the UK. And he's looking at, you know, not just having manufacturing plants in KZN. Obviously, when the riots and that hit there, I mean, he was worried. He's, what's going to happen to my business? So he's in discussions to set up manufacturing in Spain and in Germany. And this business is just absolutely thriving, you know, I mean. But what underpins it? Why do I talk about that as a case study? Obviously, he's used the valuation tool as a way to kind of understand what he needs to do. But also, he's just a down-to-earth, humble, family guy who wants to do something cool, you know. So, I mean, I love using that story, you know, and we've, I mean, done a blog on our website about the story, but I mean, you know, that's what we're about. You know, we one day would love to say, hey, like, this guy was out on his entrepreneurial journey. He used bizval, and that was the seed for him to become something bigger and greater and making a real impact. So, yeah, Silvery is a great example. There are countless stories like that. We had another example of somebody who actually did a valuation on their business. It was a plumbing business, and the valuation was negative. Okay, that could happen. And effectively, this guy was self-employed, and we thought, hey, he's going to be disappointed that he's got a negative valuation. But when we engaged with him, he was actually quite delighted, because he had got to the point where his business was worth nothing. But he had just broken the point where he was no longer doing the plumbing work himself. He was effectively no longer self-employed. Okay. So from this point onwards, he realizes that as he grows that business, he will actually start to build and accrue value as he goes along. So those are two quite simple stories, but I mean, I think they're real. I think all of us can relate to that.